Hey guys, how's it going? Hope you've been well. It's been a while since I've done a dump. A pocket dump, that is, an EDC update video, an everyday carry video, where I talk about the gear that I carry every day, typically on body in my pockets. So, if you don't know me, if you just click this video randomly because you like gear, hey, I'm Mike, I run this channel. A little bit of backstory, which is relevant to the gear that I carry probably, just so you know, just in case you're a stranger. I come from kind of the world of tech. Used to be a desk jockey writing code all day, and then eventually got out of that into what I do now, which is I don't really know. But I live on some acreage in Colorado. I tinker on things. I build things. I make things a lot. I run a little holster company. I work on vehicles a lot. I built my house. I'm building up, a little bit of a homestead here. I'm always working on things. I'm always working on projects. So that'll be relevant to the gear that I carry. But if that's not you, do not worry. I'll talk a lot about the gear, why it might apply to you, why it might be a good fit for you, why you might want to try it out, or maybe you have your system dialed as is. For those of you that don't know how to use chapters, and I know there are a lot of you out there because you comment in my videos and you let me know at what time that I start certain segments of the video, even though I put that in the chapter. There's chapters. I put them in every video. But for those of you that don't care about any of this talking, I will put down below, right here actually, when the actual EDC video portion starts. So you can skip ahead if you'd like. So, carrying the gear. I'm not really a gear channel where I'm showing you gear just to show you gear. I'm not just throwing new knives at your face for the sake of throwing new knives in your face, if that makes sense. Nothing wrong with that. I kind of used to be that guy, but am not really any longer. And as you progress in the world of gear and everyday carry, I guess, you basically find what works for you through a series of trial and error and seeing something that looks like it may fit the bill a little better and trying that, and maybe it does, and maybe it edges out what you were carrying previously. If you're watching this video, you probably care about gear and you probably care about solving those problems, and eventually you get to the point where your EDC doesn't change much. My EDC didn't change for a number of years. My EDC is a little bit different now than it was for the past probably 5 or 6 years. So that'll be a little surprising maybe for some of you. And yeah, so it will be a little bit of an update of sorts. Now, more than half of it has stayed the same, but I have a few new things, and I'll talk about why those new things are in the rotation, I guess. So that's what you can look for in this video. I think it's fun. I love talking about gear. I love hearing your guys give me recommendations about gear as well. But yeah, before we get into the video in its entirety, let's talk about this. Let's talk about this right here. No, actually, let's thank the sponsor of today's video, Fabletics. But this is one of their shirts that I'm wearing. So they reached out and wanted to send me some gear, and if I liked it, they'd love to sponsor a video. And I said, I would love to try some gear. My wife actually has told me to try some of your gear. Fabletics, I don't know if they want me to talk about this necessarily, but is like my wife's absolute favorite activewear company. She loves their stuff. And I was looking for some activewear because I'm relatively active, and she told me to check out Fabletics. But by chance, Fabletics reached out and wanted to sponsor a video. So they sent me some gear to try out. I actually got a funny comment a couple videos back maybe that a guy said, is that a dad bod coming in? Which was insulting, but kind of funny because my dad bod came in about 2 years ago, and I've actually been in the process of getting back into pre-dad bod shape, if that makes sense. So I've been a lot more active, and I've been working out a little bit more, and a lot of my workouts really revolve around my 2-year-old Cooper. Like there are a lot of throwing him up in the air or doing push-ups with him or throwing him over my shoulder and doing sprints because it's functional. It's stuff that is a little bit more, it's kind of like CrossFit even, a little more functional, but my son loves doing. It's kind of a weird sponsored spot, but it's all related to Fabletics, I promise you. But he enjoys it. I get a workout, it's a win-win. So I kind of wanted some clothing that stretched and moved a little bit more with me. So they sent me some stuff to sample, and I've been loving it. They got lots of blacks. They got some dark camo, olive green, like I mentioned. These shorts are actually super nice. I've been wearing them quite a bit. They have this kind of internal compression layer with a little pocket in here, little cell phone pocket, so your cell phone's not bouncing around when you go on a little jog or whatever. Some of their stuff, these ones don't have it, but another pair of shorts I have, they have a little towel hoop, kind of towel hook, where you can put a towel when you're working out, so you always have it in you, but you don't have to like tuck it into your butt crack or anything like that. And then some camos and whatnot. And all of their gear is super stretchy and breathable and moisture wicking, and they got some kind of clever pockets that are more catered to the activewear crowd. A lot of their pockets are zippers, so you can put your little keys in and not have to worry about them falling out when you're rolling around. And I've just been really happy with their stuff. They've just been super comfortable. And a lot of their stuff also has reflective elements. So if you're out jogging or whatever on the road, even though you're wearing black camo, it is reflective. So if someone is driving up, they'll catch you with their headlights. So you can go shop on their site, but they also have kind of a membership program. They call it the VIP program, which offers you 80% off your first order. And then you'll have to go to the website and explain it. It explains it in much more detail. But basically you can save like up to 50% daily as a VIP member. And then every month you actually get a credit that you can use for a 2-piece outfit or any item, actually up to $100. And it's really flexible. Maybe you're saying, I don't want to buy anything this month. You can actually skip months. You have like a window at the beginning of each month to skip that month as well. And then there's monthly drops, kind of VIP early access to things, some exclusive stuff. And then you also get access to their fitness app as well. So I'll drop a link down below in the video description that you can click that'll allow you to get 80% off your first order as a VIP member. So check them out. Thank you, Fabletics, for keeping me stretchy and sponsoring today's video. So the gear that I carry everyday carry, encompasses typically what people think of as what you carry in your pockets every day. But it expands kind of beyond that as well. I've done stuff on kind of my vehicle's everyday carry, the stuff that I keep in my vehicle every day. So that kind of expands upon your kit. You can carry more stuff. And then also I kind of include EDC as the items that you wear, your gear carrying capability, so to speak. So the pants I wear, belts or boots or shirts or jackets or all that kind of stuff. And then you even have your EDC backpack. I did a video on this. This is the Vertex Urban Ghost backpack, which I like a lot. It's a great everyday kind of laptop bag with a lot of really good organization, but it's slim and sleek, still can fit an Nalgene on the side. If you're interested in that, I'll link it up here. I don't think a whole lot has changed there, but that's also kind of an extension of your EDC. And those things kind of change more, funny enough, like my bag, what I carry in the bag, what's in the vehicles. The vehicles themselves change more than actually what I carry in my pockets. But what I haven't done in a while is actually talk about clothing. So kind of the articles of clothing that I really like that work, and some of it is for different tasks. Like this is a jacket you see me wearing a bunch. I'll link to all this stuff in the video description below. But sometimes if I'm doing a different task than just kind of the normal everyday stuff, I'll put on a different jacket, like a harder use jacket that will take a little more abuse, or something lighter, or a flannel. I designed a flannel, the Last Line flannel. I'll link that down below, that I wear a lot. That's almost my everyday flannel as well. And then pants, these are the Vertex Delta Stretch, still undefeated. But I'm going to talk about a couple other pants as well. But anyway, I'll do a whole dedicated video a week or two after. I'll try to do it a week or two after this video where I talk clothing. So if you're wondering if you want me to expand upon kind of the stuff that you see me wear in videos a lot, that'll be the video for you. So let's talk EDC. I'm gonna do something different here for you folks that have ADD. I'm gonna do a 1-minute version, and then I'll get into the detail of all of this stuff. Concealed carry, Glock 43X, extra mag, LLOD Associate V2 holster, LLOD.US. Cell phone, generic case, MagSafe, use it for everything, black, great, screen protector, cool. Sharpie, twin tip, fine, extra fine, works great, right on stuff. Flashlight, Olight Warrior Mini 3. I like that it has magnetic tail cap. I like that you can stand it up. I like you have instant access to moonlight or firefly mode, turbo mode, tactical tail switch, admin mode. So you can go through the settings really easy, and you can flip it around, put it on a hat, bill, use it like a headlamp. If there is a flashlight you know of that has all of those features, let me know. I'd love to try it out. Wallet. This is the Travax Summit, I believe. Few cards, a little bit of cash. I've had this wallet for 5 or 6 years. I haven't found a reason to change. Got a little patina. Leatherman Arc. I talk about why I'm carrying this instead of the Skeletal. So watch the longer part. This, I ooh and ah and gush over it. Exceed Designs, Tyrant Razor, V3. Amazing. Watch the longer portion of the video. Hashtag not sponsored. And that's it. See, I never really know how to start, where to start. Maybe let's start at one of the more important pieces that, I haven't talked about as much, and it gets videos flagged every time you talk about it, but I can't not talk about it, right? The EDC carry. So your concealed carry, mine is a Glock 43X MOS, but it actually is pretty basic Trijicon HD sights in an Associate V2 holster. This is my holster company, concealed carry holster with the weapon plus mag, still the best, still undefeated. So that is my everyday carry. And then kind of some normal stuff, I guess, is keys. You carry your keys however you carry your keys. I don't even have my key in my pocket because that changes because I have too many vehicles. So I don't have like a keychain that has them all. I just grab the key for that vehicle that I'm going to drive and drive it. So I don't even have a key in my pocket right now because it's just a key. And then a cell phone is pretty normal. Cell phone, actually, I just kind of ripped up this old case I had. So this is just a cheapy, brandless, black case that I have on. This is an iPhone 15 Pro. Nothing fancy here. I do use MagSafe everything now, pretty much. MagSafe chargers, MagSafe holders, MagSafe everything. So the case always has to be MagSafe. They make a bunch of Android phone cases that have MagSafe as well, and that gives you wireless charging and really great mounts, honestly. So cell phone, very important tool to keep on you and ways to charge it. So in my bag, in my car, I always have ways to charge it, but cell phone, pretty basic. That's kind of the stuff that everyone carries. And then I guess we'll say a wallet is the other thing that everyone probably carries. This surprisingly is still the Travax. I believe it's the Summit. I don't even know. I think it's the Summit. It's their most minimal, cheapest wallet. I don't even think they sell this wallet as cheaply anymore, but it was their cheapest wallet. I think now you have to get it with the Shield or something. Anyway, this is still just a minimal wallet that works really well for me, and I like it. It's just kind of raw metal and a little canvas Cordura type strap, and I think it's cool, and I've had it for, I don't know, I'm guessing 5 or 6 years, the same wallet. I have never changed it, and it's still holding strong. So it expands a little bit to hold more cards and a little bit of cash. I have it in its most basic configuration, and I have, let's count them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cards and some cash. If you're wondering what cards they are, I use an Amex a lot for points, and then where places that don't accept Amex, I also have a Visa, and then I have my ATM card in case I need to get cash out somewhere. I do have my health insurance card, I have my concealed carry permit, I have my driver's license, and I have my Costco card. I know you can use apps for some of those things now, but I still just have the physical cards. And then I keep usually about $100 cash in my wallet in case I need to spot someone some money for, splitting up dinner, or a gas station that's not accepting cards or whatever. I keep some more emergency cash in the backpack. I keep some emergency cash in my vehicles, but I try not to keep more than about $100 in the wallet. So that is the wallet. So then it gets into the stuff that you guys are, probably more interested in. I get it. So the Vertex Delta Stretch have these mag pockets that are still my favorite pants. And these pockets that are just so easy to access. So the other thing I keep in there before we get to the cool stuff is I oftentimes have a Sharpie on me, and it is usually a dual tip Sharpie. So this fine tip that you can use kind of like a pen, though it bleeds through stuff a little more than a pen, so you just got to be aware of that. And then still a relatively fine tip marker. So I'm marking things, I'm measuring things out, and a lot of times I'm carrying also a construction pencil inside of this little kind of tool pocket down here when I'm going to be working, basically cutting up a bunch of wood and measuring out things and marking things. I'll use a construction pencil. But a lot of times it's a Sharpie as well. So then illumination, flashlight. This is one, let me know if there's a flash. I'm going to list a feature set that is the reason that I carry this flashlight. And I have tried other flashlights, and I come back to this one because when I try another flashlight that seems cool, or maybe it has some neat features, and I want to try it out, I find that I am missing the features that this flashlight has. So this is the Olight Warrior Mini 3. I think that's the latest one. Maybe they have a 4 now. I'm not really sure. I don't really keep up to date with them. But I liked the original Olight Warrior. Some of you guys know my bitter story behind the Olight Warrior. I won't talk about that in this video. But I've liked the Olight Warrior since it came out, and now we're on version 3, apparently. And the reasons I like it, pay attention here. If there's a flashlight that I don't know about that checks all these boxes, I want to know about it so I can try it out. But the features are, it has a reversible pocket clip, so you can put it on the bill of a hat, use it as a headlamp. It has instant access to moonlight or firefly mode, basically like the 1 lumen or whatever mode. So when it's really dark and you just need a little bit of light, you don't have to cycle through your brightness modes. You have instant access to the lowest brightness mode. The admin button on the side makes it easy to switch through kind of your 3 normal modes, which is super handy as well. Then you have instant access to full brightness on the tail cap. Now that is a momentary switch, or you can tap it to be on. You can half press it for low mode as well. And you can half press it low mode for momentary, or you can half tap it for constant on low mode. It has a magnetic tail cap, so you can stick it. There's nothing metal. Can you see this back here? No, you can't. But I can stick it to things and illuminate ferrous metals. That is nice. And then the last mode, which I'm finding I use a lot because I've tested flashlights that just, you can't do this, is a lot of times I'll set this somewhere and use it like a candle, essentially. I'll set it on a windowsill or on a table or on a desk or on, right here or in my vehicle. And what that does is it bounces light off the ceiling, and that kind of diffuses it, and it just lights up an area. And there's a couple flashlights that I've really liked that I was like, maybe I could do away with the magnet tail cap, and if it has some other features I like, maybe I could use it. But then the one thing I kept on missing was the flashlights would have like rounded buttons or whatever, so they would flop over. So those are the features. If you know a flashlight, instant access to moonlight, tactical tail cap switch for full power. I think you can strobe this maybe. I don't know. I never used strobe. Maybe not. I don't know. I think there's a way to get in a strobe. Yeah, there. I never used strobe, so I don't know how to get, but you can easily access strobe. That's not a feature I care about, but use it as a headlamp, stand it up, magnet. If you know a flashlight that checks all those boxes, I don't think there's another flashlight that does, but if you know of one, let me know in the comments down below because I want to try it. So Olight flashlight, I keep that in my left mag pocket back here, just because again, I am right-handed, so if I need to get a flashlight out, but then I need to get a knife or some pepper spray or a gun or whatever, then I can do that with my right hand, and my flashlight is already in my left hand. So that's kind of the reasoning behind that. I keep two items in this back pocket here. Let's see if you can see. Two items here. So the first item is, wow, it's not a Leatherman Skeletal. If you've been watching my videos for a long time, you know I love the Leatherman Skeletal. It reigned supreme for a long time, and I still do think it is the king of everyday multi-tools. I like some things about it better than this even, but this has been what I've been carrying for a little bit now. It is the Leatherman Arc. This is another item that I bought full price. I get a lot of stuff for free. I get tons of stuff for free. Leatherman is a company that their marketing department is very weird, and there have been things that I've requested of them, and they just are like, who cares? I don't care about you, which is fine. This is like an influencer, content creator annoyance of mine, but I've sold more Skeletools probably than anybody in the world, and I've bought them all, which is, again, fine. But Leatherman throws me they don't even know who I am or care who I am. But I think probably their customer service is all right. So I'm not really dogging them as a company or anything like that. I'm just dogging their marketing department that sucks. But I bought this tool, and I really like it. It's the Leatherman Arc. Its kind of claim to fame is it uses magnets, and you can open it one-handed and access like every tool, the pliers, everything. The wire cutters kind of suck. They break. They screwed up on that. I haven't broken mine. I think they replaced some. I should break mine so I can get a replacement because I think they did update them. But this is a fully made in the USA tool, which is cool. And it is the one-handed feature I do use. Now, I can access the Skeletal pliers one-handed as well. Gerber makes a ton of multi-tools that you can access one-handed. One-handed opening, even though that's kind of the Leatherman Freeze claim to fame, there are tons of tools out there you can open one-handed. So I don't care too much about that, but it is kind of a nice feature to have. What I like are the tools. So there's a very nice knife. The knife on here is much nicer than the Skeletal knife. This is a MagnaCut knife. The Leatherman Arc does get a lot of grief for being so expensive, but I don't think it's that expensive in the world of knives. You get a single, simple opening MagnaCut knife nowadays for the same price as the Leatherman Arc, and the Leatherman Arc adds so much more value beyond that. So anyway, it has an interesting kind of locking mechanism, these little thingies on the side here, but the knife is really nice, and it's tip-up carry. You pull it out, you access the knife, it's good. It's got a little bit of fidget factor. You can kind of flip it open, though it's not that fun, but you can flip it. You can flip it open, which is cool. And so the reason I carry this over the Skeletal, honestly, the main reason is scissors. It has a fold-out pair of scissors. They're not big. They're just a little multi-tool scissors. But there are a lot of times, especially now in my life with little kids and opening little packages or cutting off little labels or whatever, where scissors are really the tool to use. So I am finding myself using the scissors a lot. Once I started carrying the Arc, I started using the scissors. And I was like, it's bigger and bulkier and heavier than the Skeletal, so I'm going to switch back to the Skeletal, and I found myself missing the scissors, so I came back to the Arc. There are other things that I like about it, though, as well. So every little tool, it has more tools than the Skeletal, and I find myself using all of them relatively regular. So we got this one right here, which is a bottle opener, which I don't use that often, but it is a flathead screwdriver or a slotted screwdriver, depending on who you talk to. And every little implement does lock open here. Now I use this a lot as a pry bar. I'm prying things all the time with this little guy. Then it has the micro screwdriver, so it's got a micro flathead and a micro Phillips. Now I don't actually use them to do screws that often, though I do once in a while. Like I have definitely used both the Phillips and the flathead for unscrewing small screws. But I find myself using the really small flathead as like a mini pry bar. Like I'm really just trying to get something in a small little gap. Obviously it'll break if I put too much force into it, but I know that I don't abuse tools beyond what they're capable of typically. So it falls within a very niche use case, but I use it quite a bit. And then the small Phillips is kind of like a tiny punch. You can think of it as almost like when you use a safety pin to like hit reset buttons and stuff like that. This fits that use case for a lot of things, which again, I'm kind of a tech guy as well. Sometimes I just used it actually yesterday, resetting one of my mesh routers with the Phillips on it. So it's nice. And then they got the little leather punch owl thingy that I don't use a whole lot. This is probably my least used implement, but sometimes I do use it to punch holes in things, and that's nice. Then we got the little can opener, which I don't use that much either, but it is another little pry. So this tool has like 4 different tools that you can use for various kinds of prying, and I do that a surprising amount. I'm just prying little things, and there are multiple ways to do it now with this tool. And then we have the bit, the Leatherman kind of hex bit attachment. A big fan of this, was a big fan of it in the Skeletal. It comes with a twin tip Phillips number 2, I believe, on one side. Number 1 to 2, it says, 3/16 maybe is the slotted size. I don't really know my Phillips and slotted numbers enough to know. But dual-sided, Skeletal wins here because it had bit storage for a whole separate bit. So you could use a dual-sided like this in the primary compartment on a Skeletal, and then you could keep like a hex or a Torx or whatever backup if you had something that you were using a lot. But still, the bit kit is good. I actually recently came across this little implement by Chime. Now it's a mini socket set that is designed to use your standard 1/4-inch hex shank for driving. And I'm always looking for super compact ways to carry sockets. And this is actually metric 7, 8, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 17. It doesn't have them all, but it has a pretty good assortment, very compact. Now I bought this to use with, impact guns or whatever. They are impact rated. But surprisingly, I found that each of these also works in a pinch with the hex, the little Leatherman bit. So I can put it on here and I can use this to screw in a pinch. So if you're looking for a super compact socket set that again is not designed for use with the Leatherman in a pinch, you can. Even the bit, even the 17, you can put on the end here and actually use this. Granted, you're not gonna break loose a tightened on lug or something, but you can do some minor tightening and adjustments in a pinch. So that's cool. I'm always looking for ways to kind of streamline and have a super compact piece of kit. So I use all of those. I use every attachment. Then there are some things that you would think I would use more and don't use that much. It has a wood saw on here. Pretty cool. That's kind of survival-ish. There's multiple uses for it. I don't find myself using it that much, even though I'm cutting wood all the time. I guess it's just when I'm cutting wood, I have proper tools for it. But if you were out doing a little micro bushcraft, you could use this little saw, which is nice. And then the thing that I thought I would use more, but maybe I just forget it's on here, is a little file. It has a very fine side and a rougher side, and it's kind of a metal saw as well, but again, I would never use it for that. But I think if you wanted to and you had enough time, you could cut through, a lock or something with the file even. So it's kind of cool to have. It's just cool to have on you. And the reasoning for a multi-tool for me is, I mentioned, I think, maybe this specific thing a lot. Like maybe your door handle or your cabinet handle is loose, but you're in kind of a hurry and you're like, I don't want to go out to the garage and get the screwdriver and come back in and tighten it. So I'll do that tomorrow, or I'll do that this weekend, but then you never get around to it and you forget and you put it off. When you have a multi-tool on you, little things like that you don't put off. You're just like, let me tighten it. And it's done because you literally have this thing in your pocket. And that is me every day of my life. So that is why I love a multi-tool. Now here's one that was actually a recommendation from you guys. This is the Exceed Designs Titanium Tyrant Razor V3. So I did a video very recently, actually, that preceded my full EDC update, where I talked about an EDC tool, a surprising new EDC tool that I absolutely loved. And I compared different utility blade tools. And the criteria was relatively small, pocketable, had a little fidget factor, functional, and replaceable just utility blades. Reasoning for this is, well, what does the average guy use his knife most for? It's opening boxes. This is literally a box cutter right here. This is like what it is designed for. It is a utility blade, and most people are using their knives for utility. I got some flack in that video. You're like, maybe you just need to learn how to sharpen a knife. Learning how to sharpen a knife isn't the point. I know how to sharpen a knife. I've sharpened many a knife in my day. It's the ease of use. It's, I'll sharpen that. Maybe I'll sharpen it this weekend. I got to get the sharpener out. Blah, blah, blah. The excuses maybe, but the ability to just boom, boom, swap a blade, and then you can even flip the blade to, double your usage of the single blade. Utility knives are insane. And go ahead and watch that video if you want to, but this is a different one. This wasn't in the video. I'll get to that in a second. But I talked about when I was building my house, I used a Milwaukee Fastback every day. And then I was done building my house. I was like, I don't need to carry this anymore. And I missed it. I missed just that basic, nice utility of always having a literally razor sharp, because it is a razor, knife on you. And I loved it. So I started the searched for a bunch of them, tried a bunch of them, and there was at least a dozen comments. People DM'd me and emailed me and commented on that video, and they said, dude, my favorite is the Tyrant Razor. Maybe they had the V2, the V3 is the current. I don't know how long it's been out. I'm not sure. They did send this to me. I appreciate it. This is in the, Centurion Bronze, I believe, and it is beautiful. It is thin. It has insane fidget factor. It is my most fidgety, there's knives that are similar fidget factor, but this, for some reason, I just cannot stop. I've opened it at least 30,000 times. I just sit around. When I was on my little preparedness weekend with the boys, I flipped it. I was just flipping it. They were probably getting annoyed because it's so fun. And I just love the functional utility of it. So Exceed Designs, they make a few things. They make a pretty nice flashlight. They make a little hatchet that's super cool. They make some knives, and then they make this. This is my favorite thing that they make. I love it. I can't explain it, but it is basically, it's a high-end utility blade, still cheaper than most nice knives, but it uses high-end components, a super smooth bearing. Everything just feels good, and it feels nice. It feels expensive, but they can be had for under $100. I think you can get the base model, so to speak, for $80. It's somewhat modular. You can change some bits and pieces out, different pocket clips, different little end clips. It has kind of a little mini pry bar at the end of this one. They have some that have texture, some that have topo, some that are different colors. And this one is just clean and beautiful. It's getting some patina, some wear. It's getting scratched up a little bit where my Leatherman scale tool rubs against it. And man, I've owned some, pretty nice knives. I have a whole host of several $100 knives, and none of them have brought me the satisfaction of this. This is not paid. This is not sponsored. I'm talking very, very highly of this tool for free. I don't even think they have an affiliate account. Maybe they sell these on Amazon. I'm not sure. Again, they did send this to me. I'll check, and maybe they do have an affiliate account. I need to get signed up for, because I love this thing and you should buy it. And if I have an affiliate, I would love if you used my link. If I end up having something, I'll put it down. Maybe I'll put it here. Maybe he'll give me a coupon code. I don't know. I'll ask him. I should have asked him before this video, but I love this thing, and you will too. And apparently a lot of people love it, because again, there were some people that commented and they were raving about this thing. So I knew I had to check it out. I did. It did not disappoint. I love it. Interchangeable blades. They sell blades as well. These are like the gold kind of titanium coated ones. They have some topo print blades. They actually have a gold serrated. I tried the serrated out for a while because I thought the serrated, I'd be like, oh, serrated is pretty sick. It would be a little, but I actually I find myself preferring just the normal flat utility blade. Except any blade, super easy to switch out once you get the hang of it. Just pulls right out. It's kind of this spring. Doesn't have like a coil spring, but kind of this spring opening mechanism here that you just get with the edge of your thumb, and can switch blades super easy. And again, this is actually thinner and more compact than any of the other utility blades that I was talking about in that utility blade video. So that's why I feel I can carry both of them, and I do carry both of these in the same pocket, because it's just, this thing is so tiny and I love it. It's smaller than Benchmade mini bug out for size comparison. It is tiny, but with this cover here, this little indent right here, I can basically get a full grip on this. So if you need to get a full grip on it for whatever, or use it, honestly, opening boxes, cutting down cardboard. I do a lot of cutting down cardboard, and people are like, just use your knife. But again, it's like a lot of times when I would carry a dedicated knife, I just would find myself when I have to break down a bunch of boxes or do something that I just knew would kind of destroy a knife. And I'm like, that'll just mess up my knife. It'll like completely turn it into a butter knife. I would go and I would get a utility knife and I would do that job. And that's just wasted motion, right? That's the whole idea of the multi-tool. I don't want to have to go get a tool if I'm doing just something right here, right now, because either I'll put it off and I'll be like, okay, I'll break those boxes down later, or I won't do it, or I'll just waste time getting the proper tool. So with this, I don't feel bad because they're replaceable blades. So if I come across something like I need to just hack through this, giant box and break it down, I'll just do that with the one I have in my pocket. And there's something satisfying about that. Just the not caringness of just destroying a utility blade. And again, it's not like I care so much. I'm like, oh man, I'm going to destroy this blade. I'll like never be able to get it sharp. It's not that. It's just, there's something, maybe other people aren't like this, but for me, there's something about just knowing this is the blade. It's throwaway. I don't care. In 2 seconds, throw this away and I'll have another razor sharp blade, brand new, fresh. And I love that. So fidget factor, size, design, it looks good. Again, it's kind of, I like when tools develop a little bit of a patina, because I am a user of tools, and I like to see a kind of worn in, broken in tool. That's what kind of sucks about the Leathermans. They never really especially if you just get these stainless steel ones. They don't really develop a patina. This thing still looks brand new, basically, which is good for some people. But I honestly like, like the wallet. I like a little patina. So I think that's it. I'm gonna do a separate video talking like clothes and all that kind of stuff later. But yeah, feel free to chime in below if there's something I'm missing from my EDC. Again, it's probably in the backpack or it's in the truck. But if there's an item or if there's something that I just need to check out or something that you found, again, I love recommendations because I don't know everything. So there are things like this. I didn't know about it until you guys commented about it. And I was missing out. So hopefully I can get an affiliate link because you need to try this out. Again, they're expensive for sure. They're expensive for a utility blade, but if you compare it to a knife, they're pretty cheap and it feels every bit as good as a pretty high-end knife, and it is just fun. But I think, yeah, the kind of basic is $80. I think this one, how it's spec'd, is probably like $120, $130. So getting up there a little bit, again, for utility, but getting up there a little bit. But small company, not fully made. I talked to him about this. I'm always interested in the manufacturing side of things. I talked to him about it a little bit. They can't put made in USA because it's not all US sourced parts. A lot of the components are US sourced. A lot of them are crafted in the US. But I think he was saying sometimes they'll get screws or a bearing or something from overseas. And so it's not technically made in US, but they do source most of the components for it from the US, and they do build them by hand. Again, I think it's it's definitely not a huge operation. I think it's a relatively small operation where they're just building each of these by hand themselves. So he put this one together for me kind of by request. Again, there's some modular bits and components, so you could kind of build out or replace parts or do whatever you want for it. So I don't know. I love it. Hashtag not sponsored, but hashtag it was free, but I would buy this thing all day now, knowing what I know about it. So yeah, cool guys. I think that's it. Relatively long EDC video, but relatively average EDC video for me probably. Appreciate you chiming in below. I'll always love hearing from you. Appreciate you using links. Again, I'll link things down in the video description. I do always have llod.us/coupons as well, where I try to keep that relatively up to date with affiliate links and coupon codes and whatnot. So I appreciate you using those. Appreciate the support. And I've been loving hearing the video recommendations and channel recommendations for like the Homestead channel, preparedness videos. You guys telling me what video topics you want to see. I read them, I see them, and I'm going to do them. So I really appreciate you guys chiming. I feel like now I've curated an audience that wants all the things that I want. So everything is good now. Appreciate you. All right, guys. Until next time, take care.